Guys, it's Mr. Jackson here again, your seventh favorite fourth grade teacher. So remember, don't forget me when you guys get rich and famous and I have even less hair than I do now. Anyway, this is actually for those of you who either didn't get a chance to come to the Zoom today, or those of you who actually came to the Zoom and just need a reminder and a refresher of what we're doing. So for that activity, putting the fraction on the number line and making that picture, for those of you who have done that already, this is just a reminder for you. And for those of you who haven't done it already, hopefully this can help you out. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So I'm just pretty much going to go step by step from what's on the actual paper. I just put it on PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and get into it. So step one, we're going to first draw a straight line from one side of the paper to the other side of that paper. So we go ahead and do that. So next, we're going to draw another parallel line to create a road. And don't forget about the dashes. I made 8 dashes on my road. So there's our second line, and here are 8 dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next, now we will label our road. So we're going to go ahead and place a 0 at the beginning of the road, and the road is going to be 1 mile long. So I placed a 0 there first, but I went on ahead and placed my 1 at the end because we're going to get to that anyway later. So next, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. It says place your ruler at 0 and mark every inch with a small mark until you have marked up to 16 inches. Label each mark with a fraction. So let's talk about this part for a second. Now, just like we went over this morning, it's going to be kind of difficult because I know some of you guys use just regular computer paper. You just turned it to landscape weight, and that's not 16 inches. It's like 11 inches or so. And also my computer screen is only about 9 inches for what you can see on the screen that I was working. So you don't have to use 16 inches. What you can do though instead, if you have enough space, is just make 16 marks. And that's what I did. So the way I made my marks is I just kind of start in the middle because it's easier. So I'll go ahead and start in the middle, and that's going to give me 8 over 16. But you also have to worry about the equivalent fractions. And the equivalent fractions for this one that you're going to see on your worksheet are going to be 4 over 8 and also 1 over 2. And then I just pretty much keep going to the middle. So now I'm going to go between 0 and 8/16, which is going to be 4/16, which is equivalent to 2 over 8. And also 1/4 or 1 over 4. And guys, I pretty much just keep going to the middle, just back and forth in the middle. So now I have 2/16, which is also equivalent to 1 over 8. And so this pretty much goes on for a while. So I just keep going to the middle. And now I'll just let it run from here. And guys, remember, if you're doing this and you need help, just pause it whenever you need to pause, or go back whenever you need to go back. That's the greatness of having these videos already recorded. And so this is going to go on for a while. Still going. Still going. Let's move this out of the way. And if you can't see this right here, that is actually 3 over 4. And we're still going. Still going, still going. And still going. Okay, so now at this point, you have your entire road already ready for you with your fractions already designated. So now we're going to go to the next set of instructions. So, and it says at the 16-inch mark, label 1 for a hole. And you can also label that as 16 over 16 and 8 over 8. And guys, don't forget that whenever you have a fraction in which the denominator is the same as the numerator, that always equals 1, whether it's 16 over 16, 8 over 8, 4 over 4, etc., etc. So let's go ahead to the next step. So our next step, it says, let's get ready for our field trip and draw a bus at the beginning of the road. Now, of course, I didn't draw anything here. I just put it on the number line, actually using little pictures that I found on the internet. So have our school bus there, and we are ready to roll. So next it says at 1/4 and 3/4, it says draw a traffic signal or a traffic light along the road. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my laser pointer here. So it says at 1/4. So you can notice that, oh, 1/4 is also 4/16. So those are equivalent fractions. You can just kind of keep in mind. And also you have 3/4 over here, which is a little bit blocked, but it's equivalent to 12/16. So we're gonna go ahead and put our traffic light. Oh, I forgot that. Make sure that you add a walkway for pedestrians. And that's people who walk across the street to cross at that light. So let's go ahead and get to that. And it says to use the equivalent fractions, but we've already discussed what 1/4 and 3/4 are equivalent to. In case you forgot, 1/4 is equal to 4/16, and 3/4 that's equal to 12/16. So we have our first traffic light right here. And then we have our second traffic light right here. All right, so let's see what's next. So we have our one crosswalk, and then we have our other crosswalk. All right, so we have all that. Let's go to the next set of instructions. So 7, at 1/8 of the way down the street, there's a food mart, and then there's an auto mechanic at 6/8 of the way down the street. Add them along the road. So as you can see, 1/8 is equivalent to 2/16. You see it right here. And then you have 6/8 is equivalent to 3/4 and equivalent to 12/16. So there we have our food mart, or our grocery store, if you will. And then we have our auto mechanic, and this guy is so good at fixing cars that all he needs is just that tool, just that regular old wrench right there. He doesn't need any special tools to fix a car except that wrench. This guy is very, very good at that. So number 8, at 2/8, 4/8, and at 6/8, draw a tree along the road. So as you can see, 2/8 is equivalent to 4/16 and also equivalent to 1/4. 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2 and equivalent to 8/16. And 6/8, that's equivalent again to 12/16 and to 3/4. So we have our tree. And guys, it's not actually in the middle of the crosswalk. You know how sometimes you look at the street and it looks like something's in the way, but it's actually not in the way. It's just on the other side. And that's kind of what we have here. And as you can see, I'm drawing them in different places, but also you can see that I'm drawing them on the number line correctly. I'm just not drawing them right on top of the number. I can draw it a little bit above it. I can draw it a lot above it. As long as you can see that it's pretty much matching up with the fraction that it's supposed to match up with according to the instructions up top. So we have our 3 trees drawn for us. And number 9, halfway down the road, 2 cars crash into each other, but no one was hurt, not even a little bit. So we're on a number line. We're doing 16ths. So we have 0 at the beginning and 1 over here. Now, we just said a moment ago that if you have a whole number and you have a fraction that's divided into 16 parts, like our number line is, then your whole number is going to also be 16/16. So if this is 16/16 and this is 0, what's in between them, or what's halfway? Well, 8/16, which is also designated by the equivalent fractions 4/8 and 1/2. So we have our accident. Now, never mind the little fire here. Like I said, everyone's okay. You can see the cars, they just, well, something happened. And then these people here, they're smiling, so they're okay, or delusional, whatever the case may be. The point is, nobody's hurt, and we can all move on with our lives. So the next set of instructions. 10, add lampposts at 3/16, 7/16, and 11/16 down the road. Let's go ahead and do that. See, I'm putting my lamp posts. Again, you don't have to put them right down here, as long as you can see that this lamp post pretty much lines up with 3/16, as does the next one with 7/16, and the next one with 11/16. And let's continue. All right, so I have to move them a little bit to make way for more instructions and pictures. 11, at 15/16 or 15/16, draw an exit sign and a road leading to your destination. So from my road to my destination, I decided to go someplace I've never gone before. I've never gone to Disneyland or Disney World. I think it's Disney World. Let's see. I was right the second time. It's Disney World. So my road is going to lead me to Disney World. And for the last step, It says draw and color a scene in the background of your picture of the destination of your trip. So what I did is, as you can see, they already have their registered trademark there. So no, I'm not illegally using anything. At least I sincerely hope I'm not. If I am, there's nothing I can do at this point. It's already on the internet. Anyway, so guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you know what to do. Send me a message on Class Dojo, have your parents email me or what have you. So again, I hope this helped you guys, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.